everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. We're going to be talking about research management software, specifically Zotero. I'm going to be hosting today. We also have Jonathan Aragon as co-host. My name is Shelby Lamar. I'm the Associate Director of the Center for Academic and Faculty Excellence here at Claremont Graduate University. And one of the things that we really want to support is research and your journey as a scholar. And so we're going to be talking about how to use this very important tool in your own research. And I think this tool is important no matter if you're a master's student, a PhD student, even an undergrad student. So let's go ahead and get started today. So first, what we're going to be talking about is why you would want to use a research management tool like Zotero. I'm going to talk a little bit about the research that supports the use of this tool and some of the things it can do. I'm also going to be talking about how to specifically use Zotero. So I'm going to get into the nitty-gritty about how to add sources and do all those kinds of things. Finally, I'm going to end with places that you can find more help on this topic. All right, so first, I'm going to talk about why you should use a reference manager. I'm also going to launch a poll at the same time, so you can take the poll while I'm talking at you. So first thing I want to talk about is, or actually get you to think about, is how many articles, books, and just text do you think you will have read by the end of a master's program or a PhD program? So doing just a bit of math, if you read 2 articles a week for 16 weeks, which is a typical semester, and you do 3 classes a semester for 2 years, so that's kind of the typical route, you would be reading 384 articles. If you did 1 book a week for 16 weeks, 3 classes a semester, you're looking at 192 books for a master's program. Now, that doesn't count, and that's just like maybe your required reading for a class, right? That's hundreds of books or hundreds of articles. And that doesn't even count the articles and books you would need to read to write your research papers or anything else. That would be a huge amount of required reading that you would need to organize, keep notes on, and keep track of. So another way to think about this is if you had to keep track of all of your notes and of those articles and books, how do you think you would do it? Do you keep them on index card? Do you print them out and keep them in file folders? Do you put them in folders on your computer? Just thinking about that, how quickly could you find your notes on a book that you read a year ago on a particular author or topic? How long would it take you? Think of a particular author in your field. How easily could you find all the articles of theirs that you've already read and annotated? Or how hard would it be to find a quote from an author you really liked last semester from a previous class that you now want to cite in your paper? How easy or difficult would that be for you? So this is kind of where reference management software comes in. We're going to help you make those things very fast, very organized. And by doing that, you can spend more time on the things that really matter to you as a scholar, which is reading, thinking, writing, and instead of trying to organize and manage so many things at once. So one of the things that reference management software is really good at is an external memory place. So you can build your knowledge all in one area, in one application. You can reinforce this memory because every time you open it, you know you're about to get into your research and you can see everything that you previously done from previous sessions or from last week. When you're done with your master's or your PhD program, you will have a organized set of references that you can go back to. You'll have basically a database of everything that you learned in grad school. It can also be a place to back up your data. I don't know about you, but I have killed more than one computer in my lifetime by spilling stuff on them or dropping them. I haven't lost one yet, but I wouldn't put it past me. So having a data backup is always important so you don't lose all of that. It also helps you build connections between your sources and different works that you're working on. So it's kind of an external tool not just for data, but also for making connections, which is one of the important things we do in grad school. It also improves your speed. So once you get used to doing Zotero, you can do references much faster. You spend much less time on it, unless you really focus on what you should be spending most of your time on, which is reading, writing, and thinking. So a little bit about connections. You can see everything an author has written very quickly. You can see everything you've collected on a particular topic. You can turn on years and timelines to see how recent an article was, or grab the 5 most recent articles or books, or the timeline that you have collected these things. So if you think, oh, I know it was from, I did it in July of last year, but I don't remember exactly, maybe I don't remember the title of it, but I knew when I collected it. So you can even turn that on. You can put authors and works in conversations with each other and link them. So for instance, in my qualifying exams, I had one author that had 4 response papers written to that article, and I was able to link those together, so it was very easy to bounce back and forth and compare things. It also has a great search function, so you can very quickly have everything rise to the top on a particular topic or author. And finally, you can also make reports that you can turn into PDFs or print out that give you a big overview of what you're looking at. Next, reference management software can help you organize not just your sources, so not just saving your PDFs of your sources or the citations, but also your notes on these sources. So you can organize the notes that you've written so they're always connected to that particular book. You can save quotations that you're going to potentially use in one place. You can also save any type of file. You can do, I think it's any type. I don't know of a type you can't save yet. But videos, blogs, PDF highlights, websites, all of that stuff can be saved into Zotero. And I'll talk a little bit more about why you might want to do that and which ones you might want to do. Like I said, it also helps you work faster. So you can find your research faster that you've already accomplished. You can write faster without having to stop. I don't know how about you, but I find it so annoying when I'm writing at full speed. I've got great ideas just flowing, and I have to interrupt myself to be like, what was that citation? And by the time I get back to writing again, I have to recalibrate and struggle to get back into what I was doing. So this will help with that. It helps with keeping your citations organized, also your bibliographies. It will really help you with your qualifying exams reading lists. So when you get ready to do your qualifying exams, you have all the text you've already read, and you can really easily make those lists from what you've read or add books that you think you'd like. And it's very easy to then send those lists to your advisors and edit them very quickly and move on. So you spend less time doing that technical aspect and much more time thinking, reading, and writing. You can also do groups. So if you have a group research project, if you are a student that's working with a professor on a typical like a research project or in a group project, that can work really well. So I'm going to talk about what managers are out there and why we're picking Zotero. So first, there are many citation managers out there. Some of the most popular are EndNote, RefWorks, Mendeley, and different fields prefer different citation managers. The reason why we like to use Zotero, there's a lot. One, it's a free and open source software. A lot of the other softwares cost a lot of money to use, and this one doesn't cost any money, and it's open source, so it's going to continue to be free into the future, and other people can develop it. It works with Word, Google Docs, and LibreOffice. It has both local and cloud storage, so you can keep everything on your computer. So if you don't have internet for some reason, you can still get work done. But you can also link it to the cloud, so you can access things from the cloud if you need to and back everything up. You don't have to switch later. So some of the things that people complain about is when an institution supports one particular kind, and then you're in grad school, you put everything into a research citation manager, then you move to a different university and they have a different citation manager that they support. It's not impossible, but it's a pain in the neck to try and move everything over to a new citation manager. And by staying to one that's free and open source, you're ensuring that you don't have to switch if you switch institutions. We also have support for it here on campus, both at the library, at Cafe, and I believe the Writing Center does as well. And one of the main reasons is the low cost for extra and online storage. So you get a basic free level, and even like the most max amount of storage is very cheap. I actually wrote those down. So you get 300 megabytes for free, 2 gigabytes for $20 a year. And right now, I've been using this for years and I'm still at the 20 level. So, and if you have more than that, you don't have to pay for it either. So you can just use the local storage and not have it back up if you want to, and just back it up on your own with your own computer. So those are some of the reasons we think Zotero is the best. Now I'm going to get into how to use Zotero. So I'm going to give you an overview of what I'm going to be showing you, and then I will share my screen so you can actually see this as we go. So first, I'm going to talk about how to download it briefly. I'm going to talk about the actual interface that Zotero has. I'm going to talk about adding sources, how to add attachments to those sources, what the plugins are and how to use those, how to do citations, in-text, bibliographies, the copy-paste functions for citations and bibliographies, how to use notes, and how to do the auto notes function for these texts. So let me minimize this and show you my actual Zotero. So I'm going to be turning this way a little bit to look at these, but I'm still here with you. All right. So first off, this is my Zotero. This is the actual one I've used. What we're on right now is my qualifying exams that I completed a while ago. You can see all of the text that I actually read for this. I had 3 exams, so my exam on the Quran. So first thing I want to go over, actually I wanted to tell you how to download it. So let me pull up this. So if you just go to zotero.org, you can download it. You can download this on your computer, Mac or PC. You can download it on your phone. I don't know how useful it is on the phone, but you can also do it for your iPad, which is very useful if you use an iPad. I don't, but I know a lot of people do. So that's where you download it. And then once you download it and open it, this is what you're going to be looking at. So a quick overview here is this is the kind of where your files are. This is the main looking section. And this over here on the right is going to give you details about individual topics that you're looking at. So first over here is your library. So this is everything that you have in Zotero. This is every citation that you put in will be listed in your library. Now, under your library, you can have different folders. And I will, in part 2, I'll talk about how I organize mine more. But for now, just knowing that you have things that you can put in different folders. But anything that's in one of these folders is under my library. So even if you have an item in your dissertation folder or your quals folder, they're all going to be in my library. So just keep that noted. You also have a trash folder, which is useful if you trash something accidentally and you want to go back and get it. Those are the most important things here. This button right here lets you create a new folder. So we're actually going to create one for us today. So we're going to say, we're just going to call this webinar. And now I have a new folder. Just like with some other things, you can nest these folders together if you want. I could put it here and it'll show up in my quals folder or up in my library. And now you can see it's blank because I don't have anything that I've added in there. And how we add things is you can use the add button here. You can pick this and add it manually. You can use the magic wand button where you can do ISBNs, DOIs, anything like that, and it can automatically add it. It's not 100% great at adding here, but it's pretty good if you have an ISBN. This is if you want to add a standalone note that's not connected to any source, and I'll show you more about that later. This is if you want to attach to a source that you already have. And then here's your search button. It can bring up an advanced search, or you can use the little search bar here. This button minimizes this window over here. So usually when you click on a source, you get info, notes, tags, and related, but you can, oh, actually it's not minimized. Oh, they changed that. So anyway, you can look it up online, it looks like. And then this is the save button essentially. So this button right here, when you make an account, it will sync everything with the cloud. So when you are finished with whatever work you're going to have, or randomly push this button, it'll sync to the cloud. You can see that it's going, showing that it's working on syncing everything I have. So that's kind of the basics. There's also group libraries right here that I'll talk about a bit later, but if you have a shared project, you have a group library as well. And this is the button for new group. All right, so those are kind of the basics. Let's actually add a title here. So one of the quickest ways to do this is just click add journal article. You can add the title. We can do author. So I'm going to make myself the author of this. And you just have to know all of this information and you can add it in. There's much faster ways to do this though, rather than just adding all the information in. But you can see here, let's give it a date. There we go. So you can see the basic information about it. Now, I have title, creator, and year turned on. However, you can pick what you actually want to see in this in these folders. So if I right click on this bar, it lets me pick what I actually want to see. And one of the things I've picked is that I want to see if there's an attachment so that you can see them here. I have PDFs here. This looks like it's probably a website. I've picked the year through creator and the title. The title's always added. You can add more columns about genre. You can do number of pages, things like that. And you can also slide these around based on what you want to see. So let's go back to the one we just created here. Now, if you want to see these, you can see I can add a child note to this and say, like, I'm going to take some notes here on this right-hand side. You can also change any of the like markdown you want, add colors, highlights, add links. You can edit in a separate window if you want. Let me see if you can see this. So you can do it here, add tags and related. So that's kind of the basic overview of what you're seeing on the screen when you open up Zotero. Next, I want to, are there any questions on the actual interface here before I show you how to do like different ways to add things? Any questions on like the buttons? All right, then let's keep going. And feel free to put them in the chat if you have questions. So if you want to add, yeah, go ahead.
Excuse me, Shelby. I just wanted to ask that why sometimes, like, if we put all the information and then next time you click on it, sometimes it's just like it happens with me twice that they were blank. So was I doing something wrong, or like what just happened? It just disappears. The main folder will show, but inside the folders there's nothing. So what has happened in between? Like, is it a process that I've missed, or are there certain steps that you need to take care?
So you're having items disappear from your folders?
Exactly, yes. I have the folder, but there is nothing in there. The item, like next, especially when I switch off and then open. So sometimes it just disappears, or like, maybe it's not on Google, like overall the cloud or something. I don't understand. I usually lose information.
Oh, interesting. I've never had that problem, but yeah, it could be that you're not hitting the like save button up here. It could be that,
Okay.
that you're not hitting that, and so it's not having a chance to save before you close it.
Okay, right.
Yeah, I also like it can be you can potentially move things out of these folders accidentally. I've done that before. You can remove an item from collection or accidentally like move things around by dragging them. I don't know if that's kind of happened, but what it sounds like is maybe like it's not saving all of the way before it's closed out.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Okay, and then can you access Zotero through a web browser? Yes, you can access it through a web browser to see what you've done, but it doesn't have the full functionality. So in the web browser, you aren't going to be able to interact with Word and Google Docs directly in the same way that you can. So I'll show you how that works. You also lose the function of having it on your computer as kind of a backup. It would just live on the cloud, but it's completely up to you how you want to use it. You can completely use it that way, but you just lose some of the functionality. All right, let's go ahead and add something from the library or kind of website. So you need to download a connector for Zotero to work. So you would want to look at, let's see, I'm using Firefox, so you can just search and see how to install Zotero. You can add the plugins here, and they'll live on your browser. So you can see some instructions here on Zotero's main page on how to do those. I don't know all of the browsers, but at least for Firefox, there's an easy plugin. And so what you would do is go to the library. First thing you need to do is make sure Zotero is open on your computer. And this is why it doesn't have the full functionality on the web browser. But make sure your Zotero is open. Make sure that you're in the folder you want to add it to. And then when you go to the library and you find a book, you would just simply click the little Zotero icon, and you can see that Zotero already knows it's a book instead of a paper because it has the book symbol. And you can click on that, and it says, okay, I'm saving it to Zotero, and you can click this little button and it'll show you like, here's where I'm saving it. I'm saving it under webinar. You can go ahead and add tags right here if you want, but you don't have to do that. And then once it's done, it'll disappear. So sometimes it takes it just a second to set everything up because it's trying to pull as much information as it can into Zotero. And oh, there it's done. So now we can go over and we can see that it knows it's a book. I would also say doing the automatic is very fast, but you always need to check that the information is correct from the website. You want to make sure it's correct because while it does have decent accuracy, it's not perfect. So you want to make sure everything works. So I usually just pull both of them up and I see it's the APA Handbook of Dementia. Here's the author, the other author issuing body. So I might say, I might actually take that out because I don't need to know the issuing body. There's the series, volumes, all that kind of, and you can see actually here that in number of volumes, they added some information in the wrong place. So 669 pages, I would actually move down here to the pages portion and then delete that if I wanted to know that. You can remove information if you want. It will usually collect the URL where you got it from in case you ever need to go back. When you accessed it, this won't show up in your citation unless it needs to be for your particular citation, but that's useful for when you want to look at your own timeline of when you found things. You can add things like call numbers and stuff like that if you want. And it does add the date added and date modified. So looks pretty good. And then just to show you what it looks like for an article, right now I'm on JSTOR and I found this article. I'll do the same thing. So this shows the little article symbol, so it knows it's an article instead of a book. So I'm going to click save. And you can see here it's saving it to webinar. It's also saving the PDF because the PDF is accessible, which is a really nice function. And so we can switch over here and see that it has pulled the information, the author, all of the volume, issue, pages, date, ISBN, all of that kind of stuff. But I also see that it doesn't have the DOI in the right place here. So I always try and grab the DOI if I'm working with an article. So I actually put it right there. Oh, wrong copy paste. The DOI there or the stable link. There we go. And it automatically downloaded the PDF and put it here in Zotero for me. So when I go here, I can actually double click on this and it will open up the article for me to start reading right away. When you open it up, you have a lot of options here. You can highlight, and you can see that your highlight shows up on the left. You can make notes, like sticky notes, and it shows up on the left side here. Oh, sorry, went away. Just a second, hit the wrong button. There we go. You can also like highlight boxes and do like screenshots of that kind of stuff. And then here on the left, you can move around to different pages. You can look at your markup, and then you can also see the context. There's a zoom out and zoom in button, a full size button. So you can see I made it smaller, then I can make it full size. And this moves the pages around, so you can do up and down pages. One of the things that, you can also search in the article. This is the note function. So if you want to add a note of your own writing without marking up the document, you can hit the plus button, add note item, and then you've got notes, so you can start writing your own notes about the article. Then when you're done, all you have to do is go back to the main tab here, and you can see that that note that I wrote is now connected to the article. One of the features I like the best is actually, let's see, I'm actually going to have that go away so I can have a bigger screen, is the highlighting function. So I've got, let me go to the highlighter. I don't want that. I'm going to highlight a couple of quotes that I really like. Okay. And now I'm going to go back, and one of the things that you can do is make an auto note from a document that you've marked up. So what that means is any markup that you made on the text, Zotero is going to pull all of that and make a new note that will have the page number that came from and what you highlighted. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to say add note from annotations, and it's going to put that it's an annotation note. It's going to put the day and the time that I created it. And then here you can see the three things that I highlighted. It's got the correct citation and it's got the page number. So that's really useful for me to make things quicker. I'm not spending as much time typing, but I can also add my own notes in here if I want. So I've got my own notes that I wrote, the automatic annotation note, and the full text here. Another thing that you can do is right click on this PDF, and I can actually say rename this file from the metadata of the document, so it gives it the proper name. If I want to do that, it's not necessary. So that's really the in and out of annotating those articles. Let's see. I can, in this one, you can see that it's a book. I don't have anything attached here. If I have my own copy, my own PDF copy of the book, I can go attach a stored copy of a file. So I can attach a file that I have. It can be a document, like a Word document. It can be a PDF. I'm going to do just a Word document here, and then you can see the Word document is there. So what does this actually look like in kind of real life use? Let me go back to my quals. So how I used it was often I would have the PDF and then I would have my notes as well to each piece. With some of these, you can see these are links to an actual book. This note is actually a standalone note, and it was from a meeting with my advisor. We said something in our meeting that I wanted to remember, and I wanted to keep it with all of my readings because it was about my readings. So I made a note about that particular meeting. And you can see everything. Some of these don't have attachments because they're books, and I didn't have a PDF of the book. You can see this one says Amazon because I bought it from Amazon. And so I wanted to know where that book was for me. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I'll write like, I have this Kindle book. You can make a quick in extra, you can say like where you have the book and yourself, just for your own notes, or you can make a note. Okay, let's go back to here. Let me check where I'm at. Okay. So the other thing that you can capture that's really useful is an actual website. So when you're doing research online and there's a blog you want to grab, or there's a website that you want to grab, one of the issues that researchers have is that the internet is not actually a great storage space. So for instance, a blog that you read a year ago may or may not be there. It might have been removed. And so it makes it, if you don't save it, it makes it very difficult to go back and cite it properly, or have that resource. So one of the things you can do, I'm just going to go to Cafe's website and I'm gonna show you how this works. So the plugin knows that this is a website. And so I want to cite this website, or I want to save it. I'm going to click this same button. It's going to say saving it, and it's going to say it's saving a snapshot. So what it's actually done is copied this whole website and put it into Zotero. Now, I shouldn't say website, it saved this web page. It's only the web page that's saved, and it's mostly the text. So the links may or may not work, a year from now, because the links may or may not go, but the text will always be there. So you can come back here, see that it is giving me the title, that it's a web page, the website title, and the URL, and you can see the snapshot. So when I double click on the snapshot, oh, it opened on the other side of the screen. Can you all, let me see here. Can you all still see that, that it opened the website? Yeah. So it opened this website, and this is the copy of the website, not the actual live website. So when you look up here, you can see that this is actually pulling a file from my computer now, not the live website. So if for some reason this website has changed, if it got deleted, whatever, I will always have a copy of this. And right now, all these links show that they're working because the website actually still, or that those will work, right? But like, it's just because everything is still functioning. Let me see if I can find an old, okay, so here is one of the authors I was following. This was one of the main authors I was looking at for this qualifying exam. I actually saved her profile because I wanted to have the full profile. I think it might have been her, yeah. And now you can see, look, this image is kind of been messed up a little bit because it was a live link, and it looks like it's probably not working anymore. Yeah, and so see, some of the links won't work anymore because this website has been taken, or this web page has been taken down, but I still have access to all of the text and images and things that are still here. So that's really, really useful. So, okay, that's the main functions that you're going to get from Zotero as far as saving things. Let me also show you, if you have, let's go back to the search results, and pick another random one, APA handbook. Okay, I'm going to grab one of the ISBNs and just show you how the ISBN function works. So go to the magic wand. I'm going to enter in the ISBN number, hit enter, and it's going to look it up online, and it's going to pull all of that information that it can find in here. And it made a note. I'm not sure why it made a note, but it had that information. So now I'm going to show you how to remove something if you don't like it. So I don't want this note here. I don't need this. So I've right-clicked on the note, and I'm going to say move item to trash. So that's going to move it down here to my trash bucket, and just get rid of it, right? So are you sure you want to do that? Yes. Now there's a difference between, this is the actual source now. There's a difference between moving an item to the trash and moving it out of your file. So if you decide to, these files are actually called collections. That's what Zotero calls these files. I can say remove item from collection because I don't want it in this folder, but I still want it to live in my library. So that's the big difference to note, is you can remove, this is in my library now, and it's right here. but I can remove it from my folder and still keep it in my library. Yeah, so if I see show in my library, it's actually going to show me where this actually is in my library. So just to show you again, APA handbook. Okay, I'm going to move this, remove it from this collection. Are you sure? Yes, but I can go back to my library, APA handbook, and let's see, right here, you can see that it's still alive and well and not in this. Okay. So what was another thing I wanted to show you? Attachments. Oh yeah, other documents. So other things I've used Zotero for is actually keeping the file that I'm working on for a particular paper. How I like to use the collections or these folders is putting everything in here. And I will also put the actual text that I'm working on sometimes, because you can open Word documents and use it as a place to pull things from. So let me see if I don't think I had it here. Let's see. Master's thesis? No, I can't find it, but you can even put the document itself in if you want. So here I'm going to attach, or not attach, I'm going to add a stored copy of a file. And I'm going to add the this just text, and it will actually open it up. It opened it up on my other screen, but you can actually add that. You can also add a standalone link to a file instead of actually adding the file. It also has a ton of other things that you can add, podcasts, all that kind of stuff. It can save all of those things. Okay, so we've done attachments, notes, auto notes. Let's talk a little bit now about the other plugins. So we had the plugins that worked for your browser, so you can pull stuff down from the internet into Zotero. Let's talk about the other way of getting it out of Zotero and into the work that you're actually wanting to do. So it works in Google Docs and in Microsoft Word. Let's start with Microsoft Word, because I think probably most people are going to be using Microsoft Word. Okay, so when you have to download the plugin, but once the plugin is downloaded, you'll see Zotero pop up here in Microsoft Word, right? And so say I've been working on this paper and now it's time to add my citation. So right here, wherever I want the citation to come in, I hit the Zotero button and then I add a citation. Click that button. And then what pops up, let me move it over to the screen so you actually see the pop-up. It says, so this is the first time I've added a citation to this paper. And so the first thing Zotero is going to say is, wait, what style do you want this paper to be in? And there are tons of styles, right? So I do APA and Chicago, depending on what I'm actually working on and publishing. For this one, I'm going to do Chicago full note. And then I can also see, like, do I want footnotes or endnotes? I do footnotes. And then you want to make sure it says automatically update citations. So this means as you're writing your paper, you go and then you say, wait, I need to add a paragraph back at the top and add more citations. It will automatically fix all of your footnotes and your bibliography. So you want to make sure that this is turned on and clicked on. And then I'm going to say, okay. And now they're connected and good to go. So now you see the citation box has popped up and it's going to say, what citation are you trying to add to your paper? So I can very simply say, or let's do the APA handbook. So I can search and I get these options. I can say, I want the APA handbook of dementia. So it's going to put that source in there. I can add the page number if I want, or I can just put in the citation, but I'll do page 234. So I just type in the number. I don't have to do anything else. I select the citation, put in the number, hit enter, and then my full citation now appears as a footnote because that's what I asked it to do. I asked it to be a footnote. And now then, just to show you, if I say, wait, I forgot a citation up here. Oh, here you can see the footnote. And if I say, wait, I forgot a citation, I'm going to add another one up ahead of here, add that. I'll add my second one, which I think there was another APA handbook that I added, the concise one. I'm not going to add a page number to this one. Hit enter, and you can see that it has correctly labeled everything that I need in the footnotes and added the correct number. Word and Zotero are talking to each other. Okay, so now I want to add a bibliography. So I just go down to where I want to do that. And then I say add edit bibliography. So I click this button. Let's see, let's refresh the document. So if something happens and it doesn't look like it's working, you can hit document preferences or refresh, and it will reset basically. Weird, I wonder why it's not working like I want it to. Let's just add another one. We'll say there's also a classic view if you want more detailed version when you're looking at this. Okay. There we go. And then, oh, interesting. I don't know why it's not doing the bibliography, but there are more than one ways to do this. So say these are all of the citations that I've used. I can right click and say, create a bibliography from these items. I can say I want Chicago, copy to clipboard, and then I can go in and paste everything that I am looking for. Let's see. Now then, say I've worked on this document, I've got it going, and I want to change the style. So I've been doing this in Chicago style, and then I say, oh wait, I actually needed it in APA, or I needed an author date instead of what I've done. So I can go in and select APA instead, and it's going to, APA doesn't use footnotes and endnotes, so you can see that option has actually disappeared. And then I can hit OK. And everything is going to have changed. So now we see the in-text citations are for APA style. And since I added this bibliography manually, it's not going to show there. But now you can see I hit the button and it made the automatic bibliography in APA style. So just to show you again, if I decide to go back to Chicago, hit OK, it's going to redo it in Chicago style. And the, but it will be in notes because it was, it didn't have that option yet. So, but there you go. And the author date, flip back to footnotes. So you can see how easy it is to switch between different styles, footnotes, endnotes, and put the bibliographies in. Let me show you on Google. It's Google Docs. So using Google Docs on the web, it's pretty similar. You need to download the Zotero link, but once you do, you hit Zotero, you have add, edit citation, add note, bibliography, and your document preferences. If you ever have trouble getting Google Docs or Microsoft Word to work with Zotero, often it's because you don't have Zotero turned on, open in the background of your computer. So let's add a citation. And then we'll do the same thing, APA handbook. There we go, page 45. Thinking, and you can see that it's added that right where my mouse was. You can also go to the bottom and Zotero, add bibliography. And there it goes. So when you add a bibliography using the automatic function, it's only going to use the things that you already cited in the paper. but you can manually add a different bibliography using the Zotero function, the copy paste. So this is what I mean. So for my Quran, I added everything I wanted. I select Command All, so you can just select everything, right click, and then create bibliography from items. And I want it to come out as just copy paste. I'll hit OK. And then let's open up a new document and paste it in here. It has everything from that file. And it's alphabetized and it's correct because I've checked it, right? It's very easy to then just attach this to an email, send it to my advisor. Okay, I don't want to save that. Let me take a second to check here. Can Zotero search for and identify similar notes or highlighted text within all files? Yes, so it will check everything in your library if you ask it to. So for instance, it can do title, creator, year, all fields and tags, or everything. So if I want everything on Mormonism, I put that in and it's going to pull everything that I've got, which is quite a bit, right? It's going to pull, those are podcast episodes about the Book of Mormon, all of these things. So, but you probably want to be more specific so you can keep adding things until you get fewer and fewer portions. I do suggest title, creator, year sometimes instead of the notes, because you can see when I'm doing everything, it's looking even in my notes, and my notes are going to be pretty extensive, right, for each item. So I'm going to get a lot of things pop up. However, if I do title, creator, year, you can see I'm going to get a very concise list compared to I don't even know how many items I have in here, if I'm being honest, thousands probably. So, or you can go over here and just search, the particular collection or folder that you're looking at. Okay, so with Zotero, you no longer use the reference tab. That's right, Randall. Yes, so you won't be using let me show you all the reference section here where you add your own footnotes and stuff. It will handle all of that on its own. You don't have to mess with it at all. And so it will automatically do it for you. And I actually would say if you're going to use Zotero functionality, don't use this. You don't want to mix which function of Word you're actually using. You want to stick with just Zotero or just references. The cool thing also is if for some reason I say like, oh no, this concise APA handbook, I have mislabeled some of the information for the citation, and I've referenced it like 8 times in this. Zotero can fix that automatically for you. So I'm going to go to Zotero and realize I should have capitalized this whole thing. So hang on. Also, if you right click, you can do title case or sentence case. But let's say I needed that to be title case. So I fixed that. Oh, you can also turn on automatic. Mine automatically saves ever so often. And then I can go over here and say, refresh the document. Actually, it fixed it on its own. So let me change something else that, let's say, I want to say the date was actually 2020 when this was written. I messed it up. So I'm going to save my changes here in Zotero, go over to the actual document and say refresh. And it's going to refresh it. And now you can see that it's correctly citing it as 2020. And it will do that correction throughout the whole document. So all of that will be taken care of automatically if you find that you have made some mistake and need to fix something. What else was I going to show you all? Different styles, bibliography, cut and paste. Oh, so to just show you a bit more about the cut and paste functionality, if you right click on something, you can, let's see, where is it? Oh, generate bibliography. So it doesn't have to just be bibliography. It can, let's see, it can also be a citation or a report. So I can do the note function or the citation function for APA. Come over here and I can click paste and it'll give it to me just like that. So if you're not actually writing a paper, but maybe just need the citation, you can do it that way. The other thing you can do is generate a report from an item. So for instance, I could select all of these and say generate report from items. And let me show you what this is going to do. So it's going to give you a PDF that you can print out. You can't edit it, but it's a PDF you can print out that will give you the basics, including the abstract for it. So it's kind of like a annotated bibliography in a way that you have created yourself when you put in your own abstract or the abstract of the thing, and you can see your attachments. And you can print this out if for some reason you want like a backup of some of the basic things from your list. The other thing I wanted to show you were the setting options. So pulling up the setting options for Zotero. These are kind of important. One of the things I do turn off because I don't appreciate is the automatically tag items. I'm very careful when I tag things. I want them to be specific things so it's easier for me to find, and I'll show you how to tag in a minute. But I always turn automatically tag off because it will just generate random tags, and I don't think it's very good at it's not very good at deciding what I think is an important tag. There's also the sync, so you can see that I want it to sync everything. And so I have automatically sync full text content. And my account is currently linked to Zotero Online. So there's also search. You can change those settings, but I haven't. For the quick copy, you can see that my default is APA right now. And then in citation, you can add more citation managers. I mean, not managers, style managers. So if you have some kind of style that isn't automatically included, which I would be surprised if you have, but if you do, you can add one here. And then you can see that I have the word processor for Microsoft Word installed. I don't have it for LibreOffice because I don't add LibreOffice. And then advanced, I would not play with advanced, but you can if you want. So those are some of the options. What else can I show you that might be useful? Oh, the group libraries. So you can do group libraries. You set these up either here or online, and then you and whoever you have invited can view it. So let me give you, let's see if I can log in real quick. I do have a group library that I can show you. So you can, I should have showed you this first. So this is the groups. You can see I've created one. There's a group library, and this will show you the web version of Zotero. And you can see that this is the groups library. It looks very similar, and you can use it in a very similar way. And then this is the web library of my own that I've showed you the standalone thing for. What else? Oh, with groups, you can create your own group or search for a group to add. You can manage members, manage the library, and set up whatever kind of roles you want. Zotero also has great documentation, so if you need help, there's a quick start guide, getting help, frequently asked questions, that kind of stuff. They do have, since it's open source, they have people that have created their own add-ins that some people find useful. I don't feel like I need it, but that's there. Oh, the other thing I was going to show you how to tag. So if you want to tag something, select it, go over here to tags, and you can just add whatever tag you're looking for. You can also, if you hit related, see if there's any related things here like that. Let me do one for us. So if I wanted to tag this with, I don't know, webinar, hit that, and then you can actually see the tags here. So let's see. You can see, and the tags, so with tags, there's a couple of options, but you can see that I've added the tag to this one, and now you see it here. So if I go to other folders, you'll see all the tags I have for those folders. So for instance, in my Quran wall, I had one called not required, and you can see that that's a decent bit of them. These were not required readings, but they were readings that I thought that I needed to do to answer my qualifying exam question. I also tagged some as major works. These were the ones that I absolutely wanted to know by heart. And then there, you can see when I switch, I still see these done and notes tags, and that's interesting, right? When I go to my library, I can see all of these, but when I go over here, you still see the done and notes, even though none of these are tagged done and notes. The reason is some notes you can turn into special, or some tags, I'm sorry, tags you can turn into special tags, and you can have, I think it's 4. And you can assign a tag a color and a position. Oh, it's 3. You can have 3 special ones. No, 9. I was wrong. 9 special tags, and then 3 positions. So you can give it a color. I've already used what, green and orange will be red for this one. And then you can keep adding them. So what this does is when you have this tag turned on, or these special tags are given a color. And so when you look at your library, you can automatically see which ones are tagged with these. Now I use these tags specifically, and I'm getting a little bit into content for the next webinar, as done and notes. That means if I say done, it means that I have read the source. If I say if I add the notes tag to it, it means I've read it, I've got notes on it, and that's what I do. And the special ones, how I'm adding these is hitting the number keys. When you have the special ones, you can turn them on and off with the number on your keyboard, just because you're going to be using those presumably a lot. You can rename a tag, so I can do webinars instead or whatever else, and it will fix all of them automatically. And I can go over here. So what happens when you're in this and I say, I just want to see what's tagged with webinars, you can see that it pops up and everything else disappears. You can also get pretty specific in these. So for instance, my Bible qual, I had readings on Catholicism and Puritanism, and you can see I have 3 that overlapped there. So this could potentially be what was happening before. If you have some of these tags turned on, it may look like some of your things have disappeared. And what's actually happened is they're not gone. You've just chosen to look at a few of them. And so it might not be obvious if your tags are down. It may look like everything's disappeared. So just make sure you have your tags all turned off so you can see everything. You can see everything that was on education here. So, but you can also see webinars is here now, because I added that as one of my 9 major tags. And I'm actually going to delete that one. And now it'll be gone. So that's tags, folders. I think that's everything. So now I'm going to, I know we said this would go till like 1:30, but this is where I wanted to officially leave off the recording and kind of open it up to questions. Oh, but before we do that, I did want to do one more thing. Let me pull back up my PowerPoint if I can find it here. Let's see. Sorry, hang with me for just a second here. Okay. So we went through all of these plugins, citation, copy, paste, auto notes. I wanted to do a quick poll to see if you enjoyed the webinar today. And again, I don't go away. I am going to stay for Q&A here in just a second. I just want to do a quick poll so that I can get your feedback on it. And we'll keep talking while this runs. But there are more places to go for help. So I wanted to share these links with you just in case you need to go and you want some more help. I'll put those in the chat. And upcoming webinars, we have one on Wednesday next week on part 2. So I'm going to show not just how to use Zotero, but how to organize it and use it in a way that's really going to be effective for large projects like end of term papers, master's thesis, and PhD dissertations. And on December 6th, we're going to talk about continuous learning, empowering your postgraduate journey and career by Eric Thomas, who's one of our fellows. And finally, please do check out our website or give us an email if you're interested in more information on this webinar. If you want to make an appointment or are interested in the Inclusive Excellence in College Teaching Certificate. All right, let's do Q&A now. So what questions do you all have? I know I went through some of that pretty quickly. I'd love to see what you're thinking. Feel free to come off mute or put it in the chat. Let's see. Will the recording be available? Yes, the recording will be available. For links shared in the chat, can I request an email? Sure. We can send an email to you. I'll make a note of that. Let's see. Yep, I can send you the email with the links that we used today. Okay, if I accidentally download duplicate files, can Zotero automatically delete the duplicates? So kind of, and that's a really good question because sometimes we forget that we've downloaded something and then it ends up multiple times in our library, right? So what you can actually do is go down here to duplicate items and you can see I have a few. And what you can do is Zotero will say like, I think these are the same file. How do we make sure that you have the right information? So right here, it will show me the two items, and instead of deleting them per se, it's going to merge them to make sure that you don't lose any information. So you can see that when I captured stereotype threat on 8/9/23, it didn't have much information, but when I captured it on 7/26, I did a full adding all of the information. So I'm going to choose the master version, and that version is going to keep all of the information from that version and add anything that might be here. And then I'm going to click merge the two items, and then it disappears from my duplicate items. And so we fixed that. And you can see I have one here. Let's see. It looks like this one was only like 4 days apart. I did these. But it looks like I have more information on this one. So I'll merge those two items and it disappears. And the point of doing that is just make sure that all of your notes are together and make sure you don't have multiple items floating around, that maybe you're clicking on a citation that isn't the full citation or doesn't have the notes attached. Okay, let's see. Does Zotero work with ChatGPT? I mean, they're not built in together for ChatGPT, so no, like there's no integration per se for ChatGPT. I don't know if that functionality will come to Zotero or not. Personally, for me, I don't really want it to, because ChatGPT without the plugins is not great at citations. It'll actually make citations up. And so I don't think it's ready yet for that. But yeah, but I mean, you can use ChatGPT separately and Zotero separately if there's something in particular you're wanting them to do together. Let's see. Were there any other questions anyone had or questions from the chat that I missed? Let's see. Could you get your API from ChatGPT and use Python to have it talk to your files? Yeah, I'm sure you could. So all the files from your Zotero are on your computer. And so if you want to set it up so that it somehow talks to your files, you could do that. The amount of files I have in Zotero is massive, so it would be quite a undertaking to get all those things to talk to each other. But yeah. Yeah, thank you for coming. And if you need to go, please do go ahead and leave. I appreciate you all coming, and let me know if you need anything. Send me an email. Okay, any other questions or anything else that I could show someone? Thank you all so much. Yeah. Please do come to the next one as well. I'm going to get into really organizing it and making it useful. This was just some of the basic functions. And so we'll get into more of the advanced stuff and really more of the organizing next week. Oh, interesting. Yeah, there's a link to the possibility of integrating Zotero and AI. Yeah, I do think that will be the future of reference managers, is having AI integrated in some way so that you can talk to an AI about the citations you have in a more fluid way. And I think that's going to make research even faster and very interesting. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, you won't need a research assistant. I guess you can name your own chat GPT version, and they can just be your research assistant. That's very true. We will still need research assistants to teach people how to do research in some ways, but yeah, they're not going to be doing the drudgery work that we've been looking for before. But to me, I think that's a good thing. It's going to free us up from the repetitive task. It's going to free us up from those things that can be easily handled by machines and allow us to do much more deep thinking and reading and writing. And hopefully research will move even faster. All right, thank you. Thanks, everyone. Let me know if you have any other questions in the chat. I'll hang out for a little bit. Otherwise, have a great day.
Shelby, I'm so sorry.
Mhm.
The recording will be available where and when?
Yeah, great question. Okay, the recording is going to be available on our website right here under webinars. It takes us about a week usually to get the recording up. You can see the past recordings. You can also go to our YouTube channel if you want. You can see all of our videos that we have done as well.
Yeah, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and turn on notifications so you'll get notified when we upload videos.
Yeah, good reminder, Jonathan. Thank you.
So this will be available before part 2.
Yes, we're going to
Okay,
make it
all
available
right.
as soon as possible.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Do you have any questions, Jonathan? I know you're already a master Zotero user, but do you have any questions that you can think of?
No, I don't have any questions. I'll just say that I think Zotero is like the most useful thing. I tried a bunch of different methods. Like some were sharing in the chat, like they're trying to use it with like Google Colab. I haven't used Google Colab, but I have like but I have just tried to use VS Code and write things in Markdown and pull from the bibtex to basically do everything Zotero already does. And then I realized, well, you can really just like you said, transform the whole citation style language of a paper, with a few clicks with Word and Zotero. So I think the user interface is much more friendly. And you can even do it with Google Docs now, I believe, too.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. Yeah, the same thing in the Google Docs. If you need to change the citation style, you can do document preferences and then switch it over to something else, and it will fix itself. Yep.
Yeah, so it's the most superior product. And then, yeah, Max QDA also is very helpful. Isn't that for qualitative data?
I haven't used that before, but
I do believe it's paid though.
yeah, And that's one of the good things about Zotero is it's not paid. Yeah.
So that's the nice for a free piece of software. It really is like the best because I've done Mendeley, I've done InNote.
hmm Yeah, and I really like that it's open source so people can make all the kinds of plugins they want for it. And it's I do pay for 2 gigs of storage, but like $20 a year is like nothing compared to, you know, the hundreds of dollars that other programs want you to pay.
And you can also, like, if you have your web account for the cloud of Zotero, you can sync it with your desktop, which has all that functionality.
Mhm.
But there's all kinds of other like literature review online apps like Research Rabbit that you can link to your Zotero library. And then it adds other features like you can, view like seed articles, like all the things that were referenced by this, and help it to find more literature based on the library you already have in Zotero.
Yeah, it can get really powerful. Awesome. Good points. All right. Well, I think I'm going to end it here. Thanks everyone for coming. Thanks, Jonathan, for co-hosting with me. And we'll try and get the recording out as soon as we can. So thanks, everyone.